The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning. It's 53 degrees, 7:40 on this Tuesday, October 17th. I'm Scott Stanford. Here's what's happening. President Biden will be in Israel tomorrow to meet with Prime Minister Netanyahu as well as several Arab leaders. And Benjamin Netanyahu has a message for Iran and Hezbollah: do not test us to the north. Mayor Adams makes a change to the policy when it comes to asylum seekers in NYC, while 2 migrant shelters are shut down. Residents of a swanky New York City high-rise are pushing to help cut down on the number of birds who die flying into their building.
Why is it spicy?
Well, it's spicy because it's called Pepper X, and it's now the hottest pepper on record. Just ask Guinness. Checking sports, Rangers win, the Devils lose. ALCS, Texas up 2-0 over the Astros. Phillies take game 1 of the NLCS over the Diamondbacks. Cowboys beat the Chargers on Monday night. AccuWeather. Chilly as you head out the door this morning. We'll head up to 62 with a mix of clouds and sun. Maybe a shower around later today. Wins news time, 7:41. That music means it's traffic and transit on the ones. We head out to Karen Stewart.
We're going to call the inbound Lincoln Tunnel an hour as we check what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. The reason why is eastbound 3 approaching the Hackensack River Bridge in East Rutherford. We've got a crash. We've got the right lane blocked. We are jammed back to 21, and then you're good for about a hot second until you're jammed again approaching the inbound side of the Lincoln Tunnel. So altogether, the math works out to about 50 to 60 minute delays. Southbound 1 and 9, Tonley Avenue is closed at Route 3. We've got a traffic signal down there. Southbound 1 and 9, north of Willis Avenue in Newark, we have an accident, and the left lane is closed. Northbound 21 at exit 14 in Clifton, we got an accident, and the right lane's blocked. And I'm not done. Eastbound Route 280 near exit 13 for Newark, we've got a disabled truck, and the right lane is blocked. Long Islanders, westbound Northern State, at exit 29 for Roslyn Road, we have a disabled vehicle, and we've got the right shoulder block there. 45 to 50 minutes inbound Holland, Lincoln, and the GW Bridge. And if you're heading out into the Route 440, the West Shore on Staten Island northbound at South Avenue, and we've got delays here that are jammed. We've got a crash, and we've got the left lane blocked. Our next report is 7:51. I'm Karen Stewart, 92 on 1010 Wins and 92.3 FM.
Well, the rumor mill was swirling yesterday about a possible visit to Israel by President Biden. Well, now the trip is on, and he's leaving tonight.
It was the middle of the night in Tel Aviv when Secretary of State Antony Blinken announced the president's visit.
The president will hear from Israel what it needs to defend its people as we continue to work with Congress to meet those needs.
Mr. Biden will also meet with Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas, Egypt's president, and Jordan's king, who will host the meeting of those 4 leaders.
Correspondent Peter King. Governor Hochul will also be traveling over to Israel as she leaves later today. 1,400 people have now been killed in Israel, including 30 Americans. Nearly 3,000 have died in Gaza in the Israeli airstrikes that were launched in response to the Hamas terror attacks. The White House is hoping the president's trip will maybe ease tensions and send a message to Israel's enemies in the region.
A senior U.S. official telling me that originally the intelligence was that Hezbollah and Iran would not intervene, but that belief, said this official, is fraying. That's why we're buttressing forces. There have been a number of activities, according to this official, in Iran that are worrisome to the administration, and that's a very scary sign.
It's correspondent Martha Raddatz. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has warned Iran and Hezbollah to, quote, not test us in the north. It comes as hostage diplomacy is kicked into high gear as conditions and resources are dwindling in Gaza.
The UN is now warning Gaza's hospitals, which are powered entirely by generators, will be out of gas within 24 hours, as doctors warn hundreds of patients who desperately need surgery are being left untreated.
And there were more critically ill patients needing to go to the ORs. These wounds are getting infected.
That's Professor Ghassan Abu Sita, a surgeon at Gaza Hospital. Imtiaz Taib reporting. And back here in our area, a woman who survived that Hamas terrorist attack at the music festival is back home on Long Island.
Natalie Sanadanji of Great Neck is speaking out about the nightmare she saw and experienced while at the music festival that was attacked on October 7th. She tells CBS 2 News.
They're just shooting. They're just trying to kill as many people as possible. Just no humanity at all. It was unarmed kids. It was kids trying to come together, to be happy, to enjoy life, and it ended in their death. It's just hard to believe that anyone can do this, that like any other human can do this to another human.
She was first told to run one way, then another. People were shot to death while hiding behind trees, in ditches, and in portable bathrooms. She escaped because of brave security guards, she says, and a stranger who left the safety of his home to help others.
He picked us up in his pickup truck. He drove us to his town to safety, and as soon as he dropped us off, he went straight back to pick up more kids.
Sophia Hall, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM in Nassau County, Long Island.
Winds News Time 746. So what's Taylor Swift have to do with all of this? Well, nothing, but one of Taylor's security guards has gone back home to Israel to join the IDF in the fight against Hamas. The guard, who wants to keep his name anonymous, tells Israel Today that he has an amazing dream job that he loves. But he said, quote, "I could not stand on the sidelines while families are being slaughtered and burned alive in their homes just for being Jewish." Winds News Time 747. The FDNY had their hands full with a fire this morning in Bushwick, Brooklyn. Officials say the flames broke out about 4:45 on the second floor of a 7-story apartment building on Menahan Street and Central Avenue. Took crews about 45 minutes to get the flames under control. In the end, at least 5 people were sent to the hospital, but there's no word yet on the extent of their injuries or a possible cause of that blaze. We're at 53 degrees, headed up to 63 today in Midtown. Let's get you to the migrant crisis here in the Big Apple. Yesterday, the mayor said he's making changes for asylum seekers with kids.
Eric Adams now saying shelter stays for migrant families with children will be limited to 60 days going forward to ease the strain on the shelter and housing system. He points out 64,000 asylum seekers right now are in the city's care. We spoke with Christine Quinn, the president and CEO of WIN, the shelter provider. She says this is the wrong move.
I don't envy the mayor. This is a situation that's unprecedented and one that he could not have seen coming and could not have planned for because of that. But that said, we are in this position now, and we need to think about how we create more shelter capacity.
The Legal Aid Society weighing in with their own objections in a statement, saying that this new policy will disrupt access to education for migrant kids and create chaos for school administrators. Glenn Shuck, 1010 Winds at 92.3 FM at City Hall.
And another wrench in the migrant crisis. 2 former schools on Staten Island, which were acting as shelters, are now shut down.
A recent FDNY inspection found no sprinkler system and no working fire alarms at the former St. John's Villa Academy, and 162 people who were staying there are now out. A judge had already ruled the shelter couldn't continue to operate, which the city is appealing. I asked Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis, who represents the area.
Any idea where these people are going to go now?
I don't know. They're not on Staten Island, though. I did ask, and I guess they're going back to the intake center.
She says they're getting double talk from City Hall.
On one hand, he says he wants to get rid of the right to shelter.
A case still working its way through the courts. Malliotakis thinks City Hall was given an out when the judge ruled against the shelter.
The city appealed the decision, so how should we interpret that?
Mac Rosenberg, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
And the other former school on Tompkins Avenue was shut down over the weekend. City Hall yesterday, the mayor was talking about the first ever AIAP, Artificial Intelligence Action Plan.
It's not just sci-fi. Mayor Adams wants to harness AI to help navigate city resources and red tape.
Artificial intelligence presents a once in a generation opportunity for governments to deliver better services to New Yorkers.
His honor is looking to implement it in the 311 system.
This is not a tool we want to use to displace manpower. We want to actually allow the efficiency and
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on my mission to record history. We'll see you on the next video.